Imagine this, you've created this cool sounding sequence, usually 4 bars long. But then what? 4 bars is not a full track. And now you're sitting there trying this and that stuff and nothing seems to work. And moreover, you now get these thoughts that you should have gone to the music college or you should hire some professional musician that he would finish up your tracks for you. And I get it, I've been there myself and oh god, I was mistaken. Now I have the working tips and tricks of how to extend your 4-bar loop into a full song. And the final tip I'm going to show you, personally I didn't believe in it even a year ago, but it's working and I'm going to demonstrate it. Especially with the new MPC Arranger, it's a piece of cake. So let's begin. First of all, we gotta understand why having only 4 bars for a full song is not enough. Well, obviously because it gets boring. And boring means constant repetition of the same thing. Yes, I have already made a video where I showed you how the most popular hip-hop songs which were made in the late 80s and early 90s consisted of only 1-bar loop and they lasted for 4-5 minutes and longer, ciphers or posse cuts. But this is a different story. At least we have to separate into a verse and a chorus. This is like the basic minimum. And then maybe we will allow such a luxury as a bridge or maybe a different variation of the chorus or reverse. So let me show you, and I will be using the Arranger on the MPC, which is the new feature that will help us a lot. I'll start with the typical 4-bar loop and record the drums first. At the end of the drums I'm going to add this drum break, so that later it will help me to smooth the transition between the chorus and the verse and something else. If I go to Program Edit, this is one drum break, and here I added a different one. It's very easy to do on the MPC, so you choose any pad that you don't want to use, then you double press here, choose any sample that you have loaded, and before that I actually chopped that sample in Sample Edit. So when I go to Program Edit, I just select the slice that I want to use. For example, in my case it's like slice 31, and here I will use slice 32. Right now we're in the same 4-bar loop and we go to the melody, which is going to be very interesting because this sample is very cool sounding, but it's very short, like not a lot of information. And this is basically it. If you listen to the whole track, which is probably like 3 minutes long, there is nothing that I could take from there, even using stem separation, just literally nothing. The intro changes and the whole track is absolutely different. So what I'm doing right now is I will record the sample as it is in the beginning. And then I will try to find something to break this monotonous sample. Sometimes you play slower, sometimes you play faster to add more notes, so to say. These are like the only variations that I could find right here, but anyway, we use what we have. And already it's something different. And starting from here, I will already use my Arranger mode because I want to expand on the sample melody. So I go into Arranger, press Edit, and right here I will just say double length. So instead of 4 bars, I now have 8 bars, which are absolutely similar. But then if I go to my second row of Q links, the second Q link will be my playhead. And if I start from bar 5 with play, not play start, I actually want to delete these notes from the melody. So I press Edit again, Erase, track 1 where my sample is, and you can see that it's clean. Let's check it. Only the drums. Just what I need. I'll go back to my first row of Q links and actually use the second one to shorten the working area from bar 5 to bar 9 only. So that I press play start. This is the beginning right now, what I need. And then I will play the melody and add something different at the end. Then I go back to the Arranger to again extend my 4-bar loop into 8 bars. And as you already noticed, I can easily operate with the notes within the Arranger mode. It's simple. You press the track that you want to edit or look at, and then there is this button that you press. You can push it up and then use the usual controls like the magnifying glass, the selector tool, and so on and so forth. And by the way, these drum breaks are from the sample pack that I recently recorded. You can use these drum breaks in your creative projects as well, just go to the link below. Great, but this is it. I have literally 0 variations to create from this melodic sample because I have not noticed anything else that can be used in the same project. So I do this trick. Probably it's going to be a verse now where we have some space for the MC on top, so the melodic part shouldn't be overloaded with layers, with a lot of information happening. Just keep it simple. And here the programmatic can actually help you, especially the envelope section, because I'll take the same slices, for example this, and I copied it to that pad. But notice that at the end it fades because I put the decay like 60 or something to make a shorter version. And so now I have this illusion, the ability that I can create some new pattern using the same slices. It really helps you. For example, this one is extremely short. If, for example, the AD, which is attack and decay, is not enough for you, you go to AHDS, which is attack, hold, decay, sustain. And here you can actually use the hold, which I like a lot, and decay, and you can maneuver your sound. So yes, the idea is to make the same samples, but shorter, maybe the beginning, maybe the middle part, and reprogram them, make a new pattern. But of course they would be extremely choppy at the end, so if we look at the mixer, right here, like, this is my track 1, effects. I have a lot happen actually, because the sample is not right, so to say, it comes from the vinyl, which I like a lot. But if I look at the spatial plugins, there is delay. Because as I said, it's very like choppy. And with delay, with reverb, sometimes it gives you this illusion that it wasn't chopped, like it's played like this. So please don't forget about the spatial effects, they are really important in your tracks. So I go to the Arranger again, select Edit, double length again. Now I have 16 bars. On the first row of Q-links, the second Q-link, I select the beginning is 9. And right now I want to erase everything that is happening on the melodic part. Edit, erase, verse 1, yes, from 9 to 17, exactly, do it. It's empty. And let's record the verse melody. I think I just want to repeat this part, so I go to this section, I actually copy my notes right here, Shift, copy, and then I go to the second row, go here, Shift, paste, and it's the same thing all over again. In order to make your track more interesting, more dynamic, you don't need to have the same thing happening all over again. If, for example, one part is extremely busy, is long notes, the next part should be less busy, less notes, and so on and so forth. Or the other way, you can have constant sample playing in the background. And for example, if there is a chorus happening, you should add on top of this chorus, like the lead sound, some melody like Dr. Dre would do. If we look at the classic examples of DJ Premier, he always plays with the pauses here and there. He breaks the beat in the moment where you sometimes don't expect him to break, but then again, you have this habit of him playing the sample and then break, it's pause again, and it creates this dynamic feeling of the beat. So what I was trying to say is, don't be afraid of using pauses. They are your friends, they are not your enemies if you use them wisely. And of course we can use the legendary all-time favorite 16 level trick. How does it work? You find some sound with high attack at the beginning, like this, or this, and you press 16 level, and you build this anticipation before going into the next part. You've heard this simple trick many times in a lot of legendary tracks, because this is so hip-hop. From 80s to 90s to nowadays, this trick is often used. Let me just go back, because I don't feel like using the 16 level right here, or maybe with just this sound. And this is literally it. I can't find anything in this track. Like, I have tried using the shorter samples, I tried to rearrange the pattern, so I've done everything that I could. So now I have two options. Option number one is I'm a genius keyboard player and I can attach the MIDI keyboard and play the melody on top, for example, for the chorus or for the verse, which is quite often not the case. And option number two, we will need a computer to use the Suno AI. Yes, guys, this is AI penetrating into our boom bap classic hip hop, but then again, we are creative people and we need to know all the advantages that the new new technology gives us. For example, stem separation is great. I'm going to talk about it, like make a whole another long video about how great stem separation is. But now I will show you how to actually use the Suno AI to extend your tracks even further. But before working with a computer, I actually need to export two variants of this file. One is with the drums and the second is without the drums. You go to Menu, Save, and Audio Mix Down. I select stereo output, select my SD card, I have the export folder, and I export it here. And the second variant is when I mute the drums, and again, Menu, Save, Audio Mix Down, Output 1 and 2, Export, and the same folder. So yes, I want to use the famous or notorious Suno AI, but not in the way that everybody on the internet uses it. There is actually a very useful feature which is called Upload Audio. And right here I will upload two of my files that I exported from my MPC. So this feature, which is called Extend, actually extends the file that you send to it. For example, it can add drums, bass, melody, different melodies, and so on and so forth. So right now I'm not going to listen to the drums, but for some melodies or for some interesting parts that I might be interested in. I have already done it, so let's listen to the results. I like what it did right here. And then I used the version 4 engine, so to say. Okay, this is cool. Okay, this sounds cool, but I guess it's too much for this track. I want to keep it more minimal, so to say, but this sounds quite interesting. Let's listen to the second option. I like this part. But no, this sounds cool, but I already don't feel like this is my track. Like, this is something else already. And one of the drawbacks right now, it doesn't have the stemming out, only one main track, so to say. But that's not a problem because we have Logic right here with stem separation. So basically you load the track right here, press stem splitter, and boom, you have the stems right there. Let's load these samples into MPC and look which works and which doesn't. The first one, second, and third. I don't want to do anything with them right here. I will not even chop them. I will use the separate tracks, the audio tracks in my Arranger mode, which is going to be cool. So I select the audio track, press here, and load the sample. For example, sample number 1. Probably like this. For now, I'm going to long press, hit mute, go to the second track, press here, browse sample, melody 3, for example. Alright, and let's test the third one. I like how it sounds. I think it fits the most. Yes, it can be like this. And if you want to learn more how to make music, you can watch these videos right here.